Hey everyone, welcome to Lost Connection Tarot. I'm Benjamin Snavely, and this is my new series, What Message Do I Need to Hear Right Now? This is episode 9, and this is, let me make sure I say this correctly. How do I let go and forgive after what they did? Okay, now we're going to do a 4-card spread. We are going to look at the issue, why you're asking this question. We're going to look at the challenge that presents itself if you are going to try to overcome this obstacle, the opportunity as well that presents itself while facing the challenge based on the issue, and then finally the most likely result or outcome based on going through this process. So, just in case, if you like what you hear today, don't feel bad to hit subscribe, hit the bell, make sure you get more of my latest content. I'm posting every day, so you can get the daily meditative tarot and any other new series that comes out when they do come out. So let's go ahead and get started. I am using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. It's the first deck I ever bought many years ago. So let's go ahead and shuffle these cards. So again, 4-card spread for anybody that is listening. What message do I need to hear right now based on the question, how do I let go and forgive after what they did? How do I let go and forgive after what they did? What is the issue? What is the challenge? What is the opportunity? And what is the most likely result? So what message do I need to hear right now based on how do I let go and forgive based on what they did? What is the issue? The challenge, the result. Sorry, what is the issue, challenge, opportunity, and result? Let's see here. Issue, challenge, opportunity, result. All right. So we are looking at someone did something to us or you or whoever. Someone did something, and we need to be able to let go of what they did and forgive. Forgiveness is one of the strongest of things that we could possibly do to anybody else, because forgiving people is the idea of recognizing, like, how do I say this? We are all learning, and even if they did something wrong, and they did it on purpose, we could possibly forgive them, because if we don't, we're holding on to the past and we're holding on to the pain of what they did to us. And so it's okay to recognize what they did, right? We can hold on to that, but to forgive them because it heals us, right? That is more important, because what we're doing is we're releasing that past. That way we can live presently, because if we do not forgive, we're harboring, we're holding on to these issues, and then we can't effectively live in our present, and definitely can't go forth in a productive manner towards our future if we're simply holding on to things that are painful in our past. They color our perspective. So let's see what the cards say to us. So the issue is the Queen of Wands in reverse. So queens would represent female, and they represent the water aspect. Okay, kings would be fire, queens would be water, the knights would be air, and the pages would be earth. And then here, the Queen of Wands, well, wands represent fire. They represent our passion, our creativity, our intuition, our willpower. And so the Queen of Wands would be like the fire being tempered and controlled by a beautiful, radiant woman. Now, here, the issue is this probably is you when everything was going great. But currently, your emotions and your spirit are all out of alignment. Okay, that is the current issue that you are representing. You used to be maybe this upfront, adventurous, creative, passionate soul, and now whatever had happened to you, you can't let go of it, and now you're kind of pushing yourself in, and you're limiting your light because you probably feel like it was your light and your passion and your creativity that brought on this pain in the first place, that brought on this issue. And that's not the case. You being you is never wrong. Okay, someone was dealing with whatever they were going through and they took advantage of you. So please recognize that you should not be afraid to share your warmth and share your passion and share your emotions with other people. That is okay. And so look at this woman. She is so vibrant. She is in control of her passions. She is in control of her fire. She is in control of where she puts forth her nurturing and where she puts forth her energy and her efforts and her words. Everything is calculated and everything is under control. And yet she is vibrant, and yet she seems like she always has a spark of energetic, charismatic, life going on with her. I mean, she's like the life of the party, but yet she's controlled, right? And here the issue is you have lost that. You have lost how to represent yourself and put forth yourself into the world with strength and confidence. And you're probably a little bit more timid. You're probably a little bit more reserved. You're probably a little bit more hesitant to express yourself the way you once did. All right, that's the issue. And by you being able to forgive and let go would help you regain what you have lost, yourself back. Okay, now what is your challenge? Okay, you have the devil reversed. So your challenge is to maintain the reality of you being more than the material world. You recognizing that finding lust and finding fun and finding something that pleases the senses now is shallow in the long term. It's not long lasting, because anything of the earth will eventually break down and dissipate. The only thing that is eternal would be our spirits, right? Not the body that our spirits inhabit, but our spirits that are entombed within our human body. So anytime we are searching for something to fill the void of us not recognizing or listening to our spirit, we're going to try to fill it with matter. And matter simply disintegrates and transforms and goes into some other process, some other type of matter or physicality. And so with the devil, which is a major arcana card, if we were looking at it right side up, we would say you are you're not being aware of what's going on with your passions, and you're being a slave to them. But here, as the challenge, and it's reversed, right? The devil represents us not focusing on our spiritual needs and us focusing on our humanly needs. And now what takes precedence is enjoying anything of the senses instead of what fills the spirit or the soul. And so the challenge reversed, which would be the devil reversed, we are looking at somebody or something that is trying to maintain composure in front of abundance of sensuality, right? And your challenge is to continue to strengthen your spiritual grasp and understanding of who you are. And by recognizing your truth and your divinity, then you will have the ability to see that there is more than just what is in front of your eyes, which is the physical world and earth and human relationships and right and wrong and good and bad and duality. And that's earth, and that's the opposites. When we can comprehend our spiritual selves and recognize that there is something larger than all of this, then we start searching for that deeper meaning, that reason of why we're here. And now we want something more long lasting, that has more value and more purpose, instead of something that is fleeting and shallow. And so your challenge is to continue to go through the process of recognizing that these things in the world that gives us some type of sensual pleasure, whether that be sex, whether that be some type of physical gratification, whether that be drugs, alcohol, or anything like that, they are good in a way of recognizing eventually over time that they're not the answer, that you're looking for something deeper than that the more you go out and get that, the more you want it, because it fulfills you just a little bit less every single time, until you recognize, like, why am I even drinking anymore when I don't like how I feel in the morning, and I hardly ever get drunk, and when I do, the next day I feel like crap and I don't want to go through the day, and I'm just trying to get through the day, and now I've wasted my entire day simply because I wanted to have a few hours of forgetting whatever I was doing the night before, right? And then you start saying, well, wait a second, I can spend my time doing something better, where I can actually focus on my hobbies. Maybe I can pick up a book again I haven't read in a while. Maybe I can spend time playing chess with my partner, or even playing Texas Hold'em poker, instead of just, getting on the TV and watching something while, eating food night in and night out. Like, eventually you're going to be like, whoa, okay, yeah, that's great and that's a good routine, but now I'm becoming a slave to these habits and routines, instead of me being in control of my routines and deciding when I want to eat because I'm hungry, instead of me just being bored and stuffing my face. So your challenge to be able to let go and trust someone and move on is to recognize your spiritual self, is to recognize that anything, a boyfriend is not going to fill you up unless you're talking about deep devotion and commitment. Just casual sex, that's great, that feels good in the moment, but eventually you start worrying, like, what if I get this person pregnant? I don't care about them. Do I really have to start a family? I don't want to go through an abortion. I don't like the idea of killing someone, and I don't also like the idea of having to pay the money to do it. And then you're like, but wait a second, every time I'm going and seeing this person and having this shallow sex, which feels good in the moment, I'm also not finding that person that would give me something more than someone that has value, that I can put my trust in and that I can come home to and just melt into. And we can do hobbies together and have real philosophical conversations and blah, blah, blah. When you're spending your time going in this direction, looking for this thing, you'll never find this thing, because you're not looking for it. You're just looking for that fast thing that is going to fulfill you now, instead of waiting for that thing that will actually benefit your soul. Okay, and that's what your challenge is delaying gratification for the thing that you're actually searching for. So a job, Are you going to just take a job because it provides the money, but it doesn't provide anything else? Or are you going to hold out and wait for the thing that calls? And now you're helping your community, right? You're helping your family. You're doing something that invigorates you, and you want to put your time and energy into it, but it doesn't take away your time from your family or from your hobbies. And on top of that, it makes a decent salary. Wouldn't that be the thing that you want to wait for instead of just going and getting the first job that says, hey, come hit this thing over and over and over 10,000 times and I'll pay you? I want to have purpose. I want to have meaning. I want something that fills up my soul. And that's your challenge, is get rid of all of those shallow, short-term fixes and start giving yourself the credit and the ability to wait for that thing that you're actually wanting, that is going to fulfill a deep need inside of yourself. Okay? Now, what is your opportunity? Your opportunity is change. But at time, it seems like this is going to feel like a lot. You're going to be doing things that are not currently illogical in your head. And maybe it's because you're so used to short-term fixes. It's like, why would I why would I not go out and party with my friends tonight? It seems like I can easily do it when I want to go play soccer or tennis in the morning with my old college buddy at 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, you can do both, right? But the smart thing is you may go have such a great time that night that you cancel on your friend, or that you start throwing up while playing soccer or tennis because your body is not ready for that type of physicality. And so instead, you're going to say no to your friends, and then you're going to wake up early and you're going to drive and you're going to go do that soccer and thing, and you're going to have a great time. But maybe in your head, you're going to feel like unbalanced, like, man, I'm not being able to do everything that I want. And now I'm having to say no to some people. And sometimes I'm saying no to myself, and I don't like how that feels. And this delayed gratification, I'm not seeing the results as quick as I want. And now I'm second guessing myself. And now I just feel like I'm juggling all of these things. And, I used to know what was going on, and now I'm trying this new stuff, and I just feel like my life is inundated with all of these things, and I don't have enough time to say yes or no, and I don't even know what to say yes and no to anymore. And this newness that is happening to me is so much change that I just feel overwhelmed. And I just simply don't know how to get ahead of this thing that is happening to me. And so you may feel anxious, you may feel overwhelmed, you may feel like the change is not beneficial to you. But in reality, what you're trying to do is you're trying to change your habits. And so for 8 weeks, you're not going to want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and run, even though after you do your run, your body feels good. You may have, your nipples might start chafing, and you may have to wear band-aids and they may bleed. You may get calluses on your feet. You may say, I don't want to do it because it's so cold and now it's wintertime. And so all of these changes that you're trying to put into place are your whole body and your whole mind is resisting. And you're like, but I thought this was good for me. I thought this is how I let go. This is how I forgive, right? And I just keep on wanting to go back to what is known and what's easy. And I don't know how making all of these changes is going to help me forgive and move on and create something new. But what you don't recognize is that even though you may feel overwhelmed, you may feel like you're not seeing the results, what you're doing is you're creating new habits. And when you're creating new habits, eventually that new habit that feels weird, that doesn't feel quite right, that just feels kind of out of place, like you don't even know if you're doing it right, eventually becomes so embedded into yourself that over time, if you give yourself enough time to incorporate it into your life, now it is just your life. And now you're not even thinking about it. Now you're not having to battle yourself. Now you're not trying to convince yourself. Now you're just simply doing it, right? Because you have basically convinced your mind to accept this thing because now it's normal because you've been doing it for so long. But you got to get through that initial stage, and it's a long time. It's like 8 weeks. It's like 2 whole months of not giving up, of not saying no, of anytime you want to quit, you don't. Anytime you want to go back to your old habits, you don't. You must continue. And sometimes having other people need you for something makes you feel like, oh man, I have to do this thing because I got to go work out with my friend, otherwise he's not going to get his reps in, and I'm going to keep him motivated and they're going to keep me motivated, because not every day someone is always motivated, right? So we help each other out and we depend on one another and we can lean on each other. So your opportunity, even though it's the 2 of Pentacles reversed, which is trying to deal with life's changes, but with it being reversed, it's like my life is changing, but I don't feel like I have a grasp of it. I don't feel like I have it under control. That's okay, because you are trying to create a whole new paradigm in your life, and that takes time and effort, and you need to basically create those new routines. Now, finally, what is the most likely outcome? What is the most likely result for the message that we need to hear right now? How do I forgive and move on after what they did? Now, you got the Fool card, but you got it in reverse, which means you now have experience. You now are no longer going to do something new again. For example, let's say you got burned in the dating game. Okay, well, when you're ready, when you have moved past and you have gotten through and changed your habits, and you have gotten through that stage where it's no longer uncomfortable, and you feel like, whoa, everything's starting to feel normal again, right? I have new habits, I have new friends, I have new routines, and everything's starting to click again, and I'm starting to feel good. Now you're ready to go back into that game, right? Whatever that is. Maybe it's looking for a job, maybe it's reconnecting with old friends or family members, or maybe it's getting back into the dating game, right? But you're no longer a newbie. You're not starting this journey over at the very beginning. You have knowledge, and therefore you're not the fool. You're not someone that can be easily taken advantage of. People are not going to abuse you and pull a fast one on you, right? You're now more aware and you now have more experience. Yes, you may be starting over, but you're actually ahead of the game, because you have all of this knowledge from the previous time you tried to do this and it didn't work. But now what do you have that's new? You're back as your old self. You found yourself again. You found your courage. You found your passion. You found your creativity. You're now living through your spiritual self and not through your ego self. You went through a time of trials and tribulations, and at first the change was not easy, but you broke through that obstacle and that stage of you trying to just give up and quit, and you persevered, and now you're ready to get back out there, and you're no longer the fool. Yes, it may feel at first like you don't know what you're doing. It may feel weird at first, like, man, it's been so long. I don't know what the dating game's like, and I don't know what the cool ways and hips are and how to take people on dates and whatever. It's like, no. If anything tells you anything, it's you're no longer thinking from your ego. When you're going forward and you're going to start this new journey, now you're coming from it from your spiritual self. Now you're coming from it and you're not saying, ooh, what's fun? What do I want to experience? No, it's now what what do I want for myself that is going to benefit me now and in the future? Okay, now your questions change, now your drives change, now your purpose changes. And so now you're going at it completely different, and therefore you're no longer naive. You're no longer an innocent child, just trying to see what happens, and not, you don't really care about the results. No, now you do care about the results, and you're looking for something more specific, and your parameters have changed. Okay, now you're no longer the kid just seeing what's going to happen and seeing where the wind's going to take you. Now you have a little bit more purpose. All right, so that is our reading. I hope it helped. Please take this information and leave me a comment and let me know what you thought of the tarot spread and the reading. I would love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics for this series specifically, let me know. Again, I hope what you heard today was great and it benefited you in some form or fashion. My name is Benjamin Snavely. You are listening to Lost Connection Tarot. Have a great day, everybody. See you again soon. Bye.